Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing today? Coming back at you. I don't know if you guys have heard. I've been listening to. Um, I was watching a video the other day with Cynthia G. Um, I know you guys know that Kobe Bryant and his daughter passed in a tragic helicopter accident, along with his friends. Other people that was in there, and I did a quick video. Sending out my condolences and everything. And I was watching Cynthia G's video the other day and looking at some other blogs and stuff on here. And she was saying something about how we shouldn't mourn, kind of very disturbing to me. That's why I needed to address it. She was saying something about we don't need to be mourning as black women. We should not mourn Kobe Bryant's death because he wasn't married to a black woman. I didn't look at the whole video. I just I looked at the beginning of it. I didn't really get a chance to look at the whole video. I like some of Cynthia G's stuff. A lot of stuff that she talks about. She talks a lot about racism, and here lately she's doing a lot of things talking about black men. Here lately, I know black men are starting to accuse her of hating black men and being bitter and hating black men because she has been doing a lot of stuff about talking about black men lately. But she talks a lot about racism and stuff and the system, and that's fine. A lot of what she says is true. She speaks the truth on a lot of things. She touches upon a lot of subjects. As far as that. She covers a lot of ground as far as that. It's basically mainly her platform, and that's fine. But when I stumbled across this particular segment that she did, video that she did, was not in agreement to that. And it was another lady on here. Tommy Sotomayor had did a live stream about this other lady on here. I don't know who she was, but I just happened to stumble across that. And she was talking about, oh, this lady she was worse. She was talking about how we shouldn't mourn the loss of Kobe or his daughter. That we shouldn't be mourning the loss of his daughter because she didn't have 4C hair or whatever. Because first of all, what the heck does her hair have to do with this baby dying in a tragic helicopter accident? First of all, what does her hair texture have to do? It's like she's like, well, what about the black girls? Because she was referring to the fact of Kobe Bryant's daughter being biracial because his wife is Latino. It's Latina. She's not white. She's Latina. And she was saying, what about the black girls? What about the black girls? Excuse me. First of all, I was really appalled at this lady. I couldn't believe some of the things that was coming out of her mouth. I'm like, first of all, also, according to her logic, we're supposed to just mourn black children's. If a black child dies with coarse hair, those are the only children that we should be mourning as black people. According to her logic, she's not even making any sense. I was listening to that and I was like, are you serious? It's like, does she hear the words coming out of her mouth? Is she listening to herself right now? Because everything that she was saying was just totally evil, was cold and black-hearted. It wasn't even making any sense. First of all, I don't care what color a child is. A child's life, a child that loses their life in any manner, particularly in a horrific accident like that, is tragic. I don't care what color the child is. So according to her logic, I mean, there was 2 white children in the accident too. So according to her logic, then we shouldn't mourn the white children that died in that accident as well. It's like some people just be talking and they be talking out the side of their neck. I was thinking about that. I was like, isn't there a song? And actually, Cameo did a song and I looked it up here on YouTube. Actually, Cameo did a song years ago. It's called "Talking Out the Side of Your Neck." It's like some of these people just be talking out the side of their neck. It's like, does she actually hear the words coming out of her mouth? Is she actually thinking about? No, she's obviously not thinking about thinking before she's speaking. And it's like I looked at that, and then I was looking at and some other black women was making comments about that as well on here. And with Cynthia G's, I didn't watch the whole video, but just kind of got the gist of what she was saying. And she was talking about how Kobe Bryant went down for black people, and he married a Latino, and he wasn't married to a black woman, and it's like, what does that have to do? First of all, I hate it when people make everything about race. Yes, race is a very big, huge issue in this country. It's a bigger issue than what it should be in 2020. I agree. Yes, race is a major issue in this country, but to make any and everything about race is just totally ridiculous. This tragic accident that happened with Kobe Bryant and these other people that was in the accident, it shouldn't have anything to do with race. And for people to make it about race, it's 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 cold hearted. It's really cold hearted. It's like you really got to re-examine your heart if you're making this accident about race. And for these black women to come on YouTube and tell other black women that they shouldn't be mourning, because I'm not even a basketball fan. And my son came in the living room and told me the other day and told me that he, seen that on his phone that Kobe had died in this accident, and I didn't want to believe it. I mean, I wasn't a Kobe Bryant fan per se. I'm not even a fan of basketball. I'm not really into. The only sports that I like figure skating and I like gymnastics. I love watching figure skating. I love watching gymnastics. Sometimes I like to watch diving. I'm into those kind of sports. I like those kind of sports. I like gymnastics. I like figure skating. I like those kind of sports. I love watching those kind of sports. Some people say it's not sport. Well, I wouldn't say that to those people. They are sports. It's just a different type of sport. But I'm not into basketball. I'm not into football. I don't get caught up in, oh, I like the Pistons. I like the LA Lakers, and I like the New York Knicks or whatever. How people get really caught up in the teams and stuff like that. And I know here in Michigan, the Michigan State here in Michigan is a big um, college team here in Michigan. Michigan State University is the big. It's two of them here. It's Michigan State and it's U of M. University of Michigan and Michigan State here in Michigan. Those are the two big teams, college teams here in Michigan. And sometimes people go back and forth, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm U of M. No, I'm State. I'm Michigan State. I'm a State fan." And they kind of go back and forth on that. And so that's fine if that's your thing and that's what you're into, but. I don't get caught up in all that. I'm not really big into sports. I kind of got into basketball a little bit when my son used to play. My son used to play. He was pretty before he got into the rap thing. He was pretty heavy when he was from the time he was really little, all the way up until the time until he got into high school. Once he got into high school, he it kind of tapered off. He started to lose interest in it, and which I was really shocked because I thought he was going to try to go pro because that was his goal at one time. And up until then, he was really heavy into basketball. So I tried to get into it a little bit because my son was playing. But as far as the Pistons and the Lakers and all those other teams, I don't really get, to be honest, I don't really not heavy into it. But you don't have to know somebody, and you don't have to be heavy in a basketball fan to really, really be shaken by this tragedy, to really be upset about this tragedy and to really be hurt about this tragedy. When my son first told me, I always go on CNN to verify everything because I know if it's on CNN, it's true. He said it was TMZ at the time, but they're not 100% reliable. If I want to know anything and want to know anything is true, I go straight to CNN. And sure enough, it was on CNN, and I was just shocked. I was shocked, and I was like, wow. I kind of started crying. I was like, oh my God. I mean, I'm type of person. I don't have to know you. I don't have to know you personally. If I hear something horrific happen to someone, it doesn't matter what race they are. Doesn't matter if they're black. Doesn't matter if they're white. If I'm the type of person, if I hear about something horrific, then it kind of touches my heart. Sometimes I've listened to different news stories on the news and about people, and I didn't know them from Adam. And it don't make no difference what color they are. It just, if it's a serious tragedy. I know here in my city, there's a lot of bad things happening here, but this couple died in a this couple died in a tragic accident here, where I live, a couple of years back, and they was hit and run. It was hit and run by a drunken driver. It was a white couple. They died at the hands of a drunken driver on one of our major roads here. And when I heard that, I didn't even know the couple, but I was upset. I was hurt. I said, the fact that this couple died um, in this horrific accident, and they were just trying to get down the road. And so I don't have to know you. I don't have to know you personally to, I don't have to know anybody personally to be affected by, you know, or I don't have to be a fan if it's a celebrity. I don't have to be a fan. I know when Michael Jackson died, back when I was a teenager, I was a huge Michael Jackson fan. Huge Michael Jackson fan. I used to have posters wall to wall in my room. I was a huge fan. I had like a little Michael Jackson button, and I had posters from wall to wall and pictures. Yeah, I used to take the pictures out the magazines, and I had wall to wall pictures of Michael Jackson. I was a huge fan when Michael Jackson came out with Thriller. I wanted to marry me some Michael Jackson. I said, me and Michael gonna get married. I thought that man was gonna be my husband. You know what I'm saying? I love me some Michael Jackson. Nobody couldn't tell me nothing about Michael Jackson. Every time he come on TV, I get the opportunity to see him in concert, but every time he would come on TV, boy, I would freak out like your average fan. Because I was like 16 when he came out with Thriller, so I was like, nobody could tell me nothing about Michael. And it tapered off, as time went on. I was still a fan, but I wasn't a crazy fan like I was back in the day. So when he died, I was sad. I was really sad. It took a while for it to register and for it to hit me, but when it finally hit, I broke down. You know, when Whitney Houston died, I was same thing. I wasn't as big a Whitney Houston fan as I was a Michael fan, but I was one of the people that was praying for her and was hoping that she would, get better. Um, because drugs is a disease, and I was one of the people that was hoping and praying that she would get better, and just hoping and praying for the best for her. So when she passed away, I was really, I was floored. I actually took her death harder than I did Michael's. I was like, wow, I just couldn't believe it, and the way she died was just so terrible. So that's being a fan. But as far as Kobe Bryant, I wasn't a fan per se, but I was still I was still saddened. I was still pretty saddened about the news and the fact that his beautiful daughter died in the accident too. It was just, as I listened to it on the news and stuff, I just cried. I was just like, oh my God, I just couldn't believe it happened. And to hear these black women come on, it's just a horrific thing. It's a terrible thing. It wouldn't matter if he wasn't a celebrity. It would still be a very, very tragic thing, and it's a horrible way for someone to die. Like when Aaliyah died, and everybody knows Aaliyah died the same way. And she was in an airplane, and a lot of everybody else that was with her died. And everybody was just so devastated by that. It's a horrific way to die. It's a terrible, horrible way to die. I mean, just to be burned to death. It's a horrible, horrific way to die for anybody, and nobody deserves to die that way. Nobody. And particularly someone like Kobe Bryant. He done a lot of positive things, and he had that little incident years ago, but he was proven innocent. And then people are coming forth. He's got white women coming forth saying that he was a rapist, and he wasn't even. He was acquitted in that. He wasn't even convicted. So I don't know what they're talking about. Take a look at him. Does he look like he needs to rape someone? But for black women to come out and be saying that we should, as black women, should not mourn his death because he wasn't married to a black woman is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And I just said, black women, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with black women? For them to make this into a race issue and to say that, first of all, they don't get to tell me to who to mourn and who not to mourn. I mean, they don't get to tell me that. But it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. They're making this about a race issue. They shouldn't be making this into a race issue. Race should not have nothing to do with this. I was watching a lot of the interviews of the people that knew him, and there was a lot of white people that knew him, and a lot of they was interviewing a guy that been knowing him since he was 17, and he was just in tears. I mean, he was just bawling. I mean, he was just really breaking down, and it's a lot of the basketball players. A lot of white people is mourning his death, and they can't believe it, as well as black people. So why make this into a race issue? This is affecting everyone, regardless of race. And people that were Lakers fans and people that were big fans of his, they're mourning him, and they're white, they're black, they're all kinds of different races. Why make this into a race issue? Who cares who he was married to? I don't care if his wife was green. It don't make no difference to me. I don't care what color she was. My heart goes out to her. I don't. My first thought was, how do you process that? How do you process losing a husband and a child in a horrific accident like this? I was like, my heart and prayers just instantly went out for his wife Vanessa. I don't care what color she is. It don't make no difference to me. She's a human being. So for black women to be saying that we shouldn't be mourning the loss of this man's death because of the fact that he didn't marry a black woman and his kids are biracial, it's just ridiculous. You need to re-examine your hearts. That's what you need to do. This is a human issue. It's not a race issue. Let's not make this about race. It's not about race. This is a human issue. This terrible accident happened to not only Kobe Bryant and his daughter, but there was other people in this helicopter. It was a horrific accident that should not have happened. And my heart and prayers go out to all the families involved because everybody is hurting. And I just pray. The only thing I could say is when I heard all this, the only thing that I can think was I pray. It's like, Jehovah, I just pray that his wife doesn't hear these things. I'm praying that she doesn't hear black women saying these things, because she just gonna hurt even more. It's just gonna hurt her heart even more. She's already got to process the thought and the fact that her husband and her daughter is her 13-year-old daughter is gone. And on top of that, she got to deal with the fact that now she's going to be a single mother to 3 other daughters. And that's a whole nother. I was thinking about that the other day. I said, now she's going to be a single mom. Might do another video talking about that, but so then she got to deal with that too. She's got a lot on her right now. So I'm praying that she doesn't see these reports where these black women are saying this stuff. It's just ridiculous. Black women, don't make this about race. This was a tragic, horrific, horrible, terrible accident. And that he didn't deserve it. His baby didn't deserve to die. And it's a very cold-hearted thing to say that we shouldn't be mourning their loss, especially about a baby, about a 13-year-old baby. It don't matter what color she is. It's just doesn't mean that we can't mourn the loss of black children. I mourn the loss of any child. It doesn't matter what color they are. I don't care what color the child is. I don't care if the color of the child is white or whatever. I mourn it if something horrible happens to a white child. I'm crying like something horrible happens to a black child, whatever. It don't make no difference to me. A child is a child. Okay? A child is a child, regardless of race. It doesn't make no difference what the race. People just need to get over themselves and stop making everything about race. This Kobe Bryant horrific accident is not about race. Black women, stop making it about race. Examine your heart. That is not okay. That's all I want to say. I had to address that because it's very disturbing to me. So let me know what you think if you've seen those blogs. If you've seen that, if you've seen the people, different black women talking about this on YouTube or Facebook, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Stay tuned. I got some more interesting video topics coming up. Peace and love. This is Sweet Jill.